really happy about the result and the outcome. Got off to a good start. Came out of the locker room, got off to a good start. That really was encouraging. We hadn't necessarily been doing that, but we did it tonight. Really, all three phases showed some real signs of being dominant throughout the course of the game, offensively, defensively, and in the kicking game. Most frustrating thing was we never really were able to put them away. Delaware kept fighting. They kept working their way back into the game. But offensively, we just did not have the production that we're accustomed to having. And it showed. We didn't score the amount of points you should score when you take the ball away 5 times. That simple. Had a number of drives that we came up short on that really could have extended the lead and kind of broken their will. The pick six obviously changed the game more than any single play in the game. Gave them legitimate life, legitimate hope, legitimate opportunity to win the game. All right, so that was probably the single biggest play of the football game. As you guys all know, a couple weeks ago I challenged our defense during the open date, going into Rhode Island, got the shutout there. But, you got to be able to win some of these games 23-17. And we were able to do that here today. Defense was solid pretty much all day long. We gave up the one long drive that was somewhat disappointing. I think it cut it to 17-7. But for the most part, defense played really well. And we played just well enough tonight to win. We're going to have to play better next week if we want to be happy come the end of the season. Well, it really was extremely similar. I never felt, though, that we were losing control. JMU, we were kind of starting to lose control there, okay? So I felt a little better about the probability of the outcome. We were getting some pressure on the quarterback. We were forcing some quick throws, some errant throws. They had their back against the wall there when they were out of timeouts. At the end of the game, there's a lot of thought that goes into managing that clock and what we did, why we did it, right, wrong, or indifferent. I wanted Coach to have to use his timeouts. And I wanted to run as much time off that clock as I could and take a timeout. I didn't want Strauss to have to go out over the ball and snap it with 3 seconds when I can call timeout at 1. So, whether that's 4, 5, 6 seconds, that's a play at the end of the game. I had real good vision here tonight on that last play of the game, and I saw early on he stepped up. He didn't have a good look, and he didn't really have a viable receiver there to play that football. But I think the biggest difference from this game at the end and James Madison, we were starting to lose control of the game. That really wasn't the case here. I felt we still had control of the football game. One more first down obviously would have ended the game for us. A lot of decisions that we made this week and then really even last night, Friday night at our coaches meeting before we meet with the team, we had a lot of in-depth discussion about, what are we going to do? How are we going to move forward with Remy? Field goal, extra point, fakes, different options, go for 2. And I just felt, holistically, he was solid all week. If you take a step back and look at the broader picture of his season, he's had a good season kicking field goals. It's just ironic with the extra point results we've been getting. He stepped up. I mean, those are all big kicks. I'd like to have seen him make all 4. But those were all big kicks. Those were all big points in the game. And they're really happy and proud of the way he responded. It was a fear of mine coming in. There's 2 things at play here. One, the opponent is sick and tired of hearing that the guy's never getting sacked. All right, so they just flat make up their mind. We're sacking this guy. We're going to get after him. 2, that's the nature of what they do. And when you watch them throughout the course of the year, they spend more time in the backfield than any team I've watched all year. So I had some concerns about that. Now, the byproduct, though, sometimes is big plays against their defense. And you saw it tonight, in particular with Rashad Ponder, big plays against the defense, but we didn't always get it in the end zone. If those big plays get in the end zone, and the game just changes, So I'll have to watch the film to be more definitive about breakdowns or be more definitive about the decision-making that Michael made tonight. But I'm not shocked that they got into our backfield. I'm not shocked that they went after our quarterback. Just a little disappointed that when we made them pay, we didn't finish the drives. I don't know. I didn't feel great about our focus, execution. Just a lot of little things that you watch, the communication in the huddle, getting out of the huddle onto the ball. Just we weren't as precision or sharp as we are when we're really good. And sometimes that end result ends up being one guy here, one guy there, a penalty there, and a missed throw here, and you end up not finishing drives. So that was disappointing. But like aforementioned here, we made some field goals, and we did get some points. And obviously we played just well enough to win tonight. Yeah, that's really, really exciting. It's one of those things that I've really shied away from talking about this year. I know that the questions get brought up, and I respond to the questions, but it's just shy of phenomenal right here when you take a look at our defense and the number of takeaways that we have, how aggressive we are at and around the ball. It's always an 11-man effort. Pressure, consistent pressure, guys going for the ball. I said this earlier on the radio, but, Darryl Hamilton, I told the players all week long, accept the challenge and man up. You guys have got to accept this challenge for what it is, and you got to man up. And, people always take those messages differently. He really internalized it, okay? He literally got himself into a battle out there that he contested all day long. He won some, he lost some. But the ones that he won were critical and huge, his ability to intercept the football. So when you have that mindset that, that's what I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to accept this challenge, I'm going to compete for the ball. He competed for the ball, and he came up with some key plays, and we have other guys, I think, sharing that same mindset. He broke it. He's broken both hands. And, when asked Wednesday about the Wildcat package, I spoke about what Cooper had done. I didn't talk about what he was going to do. He broke his hand. We came out of the Rhode Island game. We got an email Saturday night, probably about 11:30, from our trainer. Chris Jones does a great job with these kids. He is 100% professional. And you get to a point where you kind of can read between the lines a little bit. And when I read what he wrote, I said, it's broken. And he said, bruised or fractured. There's a few. He broke his wrist. He broke his hand. The good news here that it was non-surgical, did not have to be surgically repaired, so he was given an option to cast and play. Coop came in my office Sunday night, Monday maybe, and said, Coach, he said, the only way I'm not going to play is if you tell me I can't play. I said, Coop, I'm never going to tell you can't play. So he played hard tonight. And if he didn't have that cast on his hand, he might have had 2 or 3 interceptions. He was around the football. We changed up our Wildcat package, didn't get a lot of productivity out of it, but I think we made some good decisions with that. Lastly, I'll walk away just real proud of these seniors. I mean, these guys have been through a lot. And you guys have all recognized that, followed that, supported that. I appreciate that. These guys have been through a lot. And what they're going to remember the most in their college experience, they're going to remember how they finish. They're going to remember how it ends. Okay, we're heading down that stretch right now where we've got an opportunity to really have a fabulous, sensational season as we focus up, come back ready to go to work tomorrow night.